Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone at David's Refuge. I'm doing such a special interview today. Coming to us live from the North Pole, the man himself, Santa. Hi, Santa.
Hello, how are you, Kate?
Oh, I'm doing so well. It's so good to see you. I'm so delighted that you're taking the time to talk to all of our David's Refuge families. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Things are pretty good here at the North Pole. Of course, it's pretty chilly. It's like 30 below out there. The noise you heard before, the bells, that's the reindeer getting a little frisky.
Oh, do they like the cold weather, Santa?
Oh, yes, the warm weather, they aren't crazy about it. Actually, it seems like when it's around 30 degrees is when they want to go out and play.
Oh, wow, that sounds like fun. We all wish we could go out and play too here. So, how are the elves? How is Mrs. Claus? How's everyone doing there?
Well, everybody here is doing good, and fortunately, everybody here is healthy. Of course, we're a long, long ways away.
Yes, very
And
far.
yeah, and the elves, of course, are very busy. And Mrs. Claus is very busy updating the list for the address changes for the children. So they don't have to worry if they move. Mrs. Claus gets that information from the post office, and she
Phew.
updates my list. So.
Well, that is sure a relief. So good to hear. So, wondering what you think we could give as tips to all the boys and girls that are watching, as far as, these are some crazy times. Is there anything you think they could do to just, try to make all this craziness a little easier on everyone at home?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, I made up a little list. Of
Oh,
course, the most important thing is wash your hands a lot. Keep your hands away from your face. Okay. Well, I know that the children and their parents both are stressed. The kids can be very good by helping their parents around the house with chores. Of course, that's anytime. And they can also go on Facebook and thank hospitals, firefighters, uh, just about anybody they could think of what are out there trying to help everybody. But of course, the postal workers, we see them every day. They can knock on their window and wave to them if they see them. Okay, that would be wonderful. And they could also draw pictures of all these first responders and color the pictures, maybe draw a fire truck or an ambulance and color them. And then maybe under that say thank you. And they can also make maybe like a police badge out of aluminum foil. And they can make a firefighter's hat out of folded newspaper. There's many, many things that they can do. And don't forget, when you get a chance, you see any of those heroes in the paper, make sure you cut them out and maybe make a little scrapbook.
that's a great idea, Santa. I love that. This is going to be a time that, right now we think it's really hard, but it's going to be a time to look back and remember someday, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Way back in 1918, I can remember when they had the big health issue. And thank you, boy, we got through it.
That's
And we're going
right.
to do it again. This may take a little longer, but you know what? It's so important now not to give your mommies and daddies a hard time, to make sure when mommy and daddy are getting upset, maybe go over and give them a hug. Call grandpas and grandmas and friends. Keep in touch with everybody. That's very, very important.
Wow, such great tips because, at David's Refuge, we're all about taking care of all the people in your family because self-care and taking care of yourself is so important, isn't it? And all
Yeah.
these things you've just listed, being kind to others, taking a breath, giving a hug, calling someone you love, those are all ways to care for yourself too. Now, I have a question, Santa. Are you and Mrs. Claus doing anything to keep yourselves healthy?
Oh, yes, of course, as long with what I tell the children, washing our hands many, many times a day and using, the antiseptic to make sure we can kill all those germs. And, making sure we stay a safe distance from each other. And the elves, all their little workstations now, we have like these plastic barriers, and they're being very conscientious because they don't want to get sick, because they know if one gets sick, many more will. And it would be very difficult for us to make all those presents if a lot of them are sick.
That's so
And of
true.
course, we're all wearing masks. Some of them are wearing very funny masks.
Oh.
Some of them make themselves look like dinosaurs. Some look like scary clowns. Oh, they've got quite an imagination. And they spend
Wow.
some time making them themselves.
Wow, I love hearing that. I would think maybe the elves were pretty silly, so that makes sense.
Yes. Did you know that all of my elves are actually, at one time, they were orphans? And one time I was visiting an orphanage, and there was only one child there, and I felt so bad. Well, that child sneaked into my bag, and when I got to the North Pole, here was this little person, and that child never got bigger. So that
Wow.
ended up being the start of having elves to help me.
Oh
And
my
they are
goodness.
very caring and very loving, and really appreciate the fact that I keep them busy and keep them happy.
Right, right. So, Santa, one of the things we want to tell everyone out there is about what maybe you and Mrs. Claus do for a hobby. Do you have any special hobbies?
Well, yes, believe it or not, I have a separate workshop, and I like making things there. And I like going fishing, so I make little fishing lures. Of course, I always let the fish go, but it's a lot of fun. And I love to read, and Mrs. Claus, that's also her favorite thing to do.
Wow. And I would think Mrs.
Loves to
Claus
read.
likes to bake too. Does she like to bake cookies?
Oh, yeah, she certainly does. And don't tell her, but one of my very favorite cookies is the no-bake cookies, the ones that you make with chocolate and oatmeal. And she sometimes puts a little bit of coconut in it. Oh, it's so good.
Wow, that sounds delicious.
And of course, Girl Scout cookies.
You get Girl
Those are,
Scout cookies at the North Pole?
oh, yes. Oh, I have boxes and boxes of them shipped, because the elf, that's their favorite cookies too. And we're helping out a fine group of young ladies.
No, that's wonderful, Santa. So I guess the burning question that's probably in the minds of all the boys and girls, with everything going on in this time that we're living in, what are we thinking about for Christmas? Are there going to be any changes, or how are you feeling?
Oh, 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 of course there's going to be a Christmas.
Woo!
Now, the thing is, it's difficult for me to get supplies, and things have slowed down because of the social distancing and that, but they're working very, very hard. But there are probably less gifts, but I'll see to it that everybody will get a gift. So please, little ones, be content with what you get, because the elves are trying so hard. And Mrs. Claus and I even are chipping in and helping them.
That's wonderful to hear. And we all know that gifts are no gifts. The joy of Christmas is being with our families and knowing that the wonderful man in red, Santa Claus, is out there loving and caring for all of us. So, Santa, thank you so much. I know how busy you are, and to think that you came to talk to all of us just makes us all so very happy.
Okay, would you be so kind as to let everybody know what my email address is? Because if the children, adults, or anybody is bored, they can email me. It's very simple. Touch a life, TOUCHALIFE @verizon.net. I will answer you as soon as I can. But if you're first responders, I'll put you right at the top of the list, like all the firefighters and postal workers, hospital workers. And if they need me to make a visit to their hospital or fire station, or maybe even go for a ride in their police car to cheer them up, you just give them my email address. I'd be more than glad to help them.
Oh, Santa, that's a great offer. I will definitely get your email out there and I'll put it in the message when we send it to all the moms and dads as well. So thank you again, Santa. We love you.
See you at Christmas. Bye bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.